I went to Belgium to ask people about Brexit, what they thought about the UK rejoining, about the European Union collapsing, and did they have a message to the British public?
Honestly, I thought it was kinda sad when the UK left.
Do you have any thoughts about Brexit?
Go
Yep.
ahead.
One of the major mistakes in the history of this century, based on fraud and lie.
I think for us, like, the thing that a lot of people think is just like the traveling to England, like back and forth to London, of course, because it's one of the most popular places. And besides that, it's not really affecting. Like, I don't think a lot of people, like in my environment, are like speaking about this subject a lot.
So, I love England, and I think it's an amazing country, but I think it's, the whole idea of Brexit caused isolationism to some degree. It's a small country, and it has limited capacity to deliver everything it needs for its own citizens, and being part of the EU stimulates economy. And I understand the reasons for Brexit were the immigration was an issue, UK was losing its identity, but I think it's there should have been some sort of a negotiation to temper that immigration, to protect UK while allowing it to remain part of the European Union.
What fraud and lies are you referring to?
The lies that most politicians over there have told the people to convince them to get out of the EU just for a political, personal reason. I don't remember the name of the Prime Minister at that time.
David Cameron?
Yeah, he just wanted to, it's a political maneuver, and he failed. But at the expenses of all the people.
Yeah.
No, I'm not as fluent in English, so I agree with him anyway.
So, well, having studied the EU, I can say that the UK leaving the EU was a really bad step.
We noticed that everything is so expensive. So it's expensive to go there, to have for travel first, and second one, your passport, and third one, when you are there, it's over more expensive than it was before.
And I think also with like online shopping, there are some websites that are like pretty popular where we would love to like order some stuff, but because of the Brexit, it's costing a lot more with the shipping and stuff. So it's more about like the girly aspects. Let me say it like that.
Is it one of those things that's putting you off ordering from England and you'd rather order from elsewhere in Europe?
For me, yes. For you,
Also,
yeah. Because you're like, it's not worth it. You're not even sure how much extra it will cost, because it really depends from store, and it's a lot of stuff, so we rather just avoid it and order from places where we're sure that we don't have to pay an extra random fee.
When it happened, I remember in the news, after it happened, lots of people were against it, if I remember.
Yes, a lot of people from Europe were against it.
I've heard about it, and I find it considerably less advantageous for us because we are required to pay for both a visa and a passport, which consequently compels people to travel less between the two destinations.
Amazingly, Purple Impact Crew allowed me to use this as B-roll, so please check out their channel. Next, I asked people about whether or not they thought the UK could come back, and I also wanted to know, was the EU on the verge of collapse, as so many right-wingers in the UK seem to claim? What do you think of that idea about Belgium leaving the European Union?
I think it would be a very bad idea, because it's right now in the world right now we're living in, a lot of things are happening, and like for example the war in Ukraine, the Palestinians, the genocide of Palestinians, and America with Donald Trump. Like it's so crazy. I think the world is going back years, and lots of people are forgetting that rights are something we have to fight for constantly, and the fact that people think maybe Belgium should leave Europe, is like the wrongest choice ever, because we have to stay together to fight this crisis, because it's the economic, the maybe possibly war and everything. So I really think we should stay together and like fight for what's good in the world.
What about Belgium leaving the European Union? The far right in Britain says the European Union is going to collapse, that everyone will leave.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I don't think so. I don't. Belgium is very close to the European institution, and we stick with it. I think.
Would you want Belgium to leave the European Union?
Yeah, I think it has like pros and cons.
Yeah.
It really depends on which aspect you focus on, because in some aspects Europe is not always a good thing. Like when it comes to, for example, it will be a bit politics, but like the war in Ukraine and Russia, and it's like Europe that has to like help Ukraine, and they're like financing it and stuff like that, which is like okay, of course, but it's like affecting also the wage here, and it has a lot of aspects to it. It's hard to explain it like in a short term,
Yeah.
but
It's nice to have something big also in the world. Like,
yeah.
Otherwise,
also,
it's
like,
just America and Russia,
that's the
and
pro
now it's
of
like
it.
having Europe. Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Maybe
the pro of
it's-
it. Voilà, it's like you really have to put it on the scale and see like what's waging
Yeah.
more than the other.
Yeah, it's like friendship
Yeah.
politics. Maybe we need it in
Do we
some
need
ways.
it or not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering if Putin takes Ukraine, Europe is next. That's the concern. Not to say that he will, but that is obviously, because he doesn't seem to stop.
Yeah.
That's the big concern. And so being as a group, it would be better
Yeah,
for
I
us.
feel like it's good to
Then
be
you're
in a
more
group.
protected.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. Then no country can do whatever they want without any consequences, which
Yeah.
we see in the Middle East and stuff. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
One of the things sorry.
No.
One of the things I've said is about Viktor Orban and Meloni, the Prime Minister of Hungary, the Prime Minister of Italy. I feel that the European Union has checked them. If they were around in the 1930s, I personally feel that they would have become a full dictatorship. But because the European Union exists, that stopped them from going
Yeah.
Yeah. And
the
there
full
are
length.
many examples on that as well. Like many countries that it would be so different if they were a part of Europe. They would be protected and they would not be in the situation that they are right now. And there are many countries and examples of where it went wrong. So maybe in that aspect, like England joining Europe back can be a good thing. Like
Yeah.
You beat me because I was going to ask, would you have the UK back
Yeah.
in the European Union?
If they want to come back, that would be nice.
if they want to.
If you want to go back.
But wasn't it that the voting was like just a small difference of people that wanted and didn't want? Yeah.
As a percentage, yes.
Yeah. And it would be interesting if they redid it to see like.
The polling is at 60% want to
okay.
return.
Ah, okay.
The three big parties will not return,
Okay, I didn't know.
Yes.
Okay.
which is sad.
Yeah, it is.
Within the EU, you have the bad guys like Hungary that they profoundly violate human rights, the rule of law, and then, of course, there are other countries that, let me think, actually, many European countries are actually leaning towards far right, and that means violations of basic freedoms and stuff.
I quite like the EU for that. I think if these, like Meloni, Orban, were in the 1930s, they would have gone full dictatorship.
Yeah.
And I actually think the EU checks that quite nicely. So I'm a big proponent. Plus, you've got the Parliament, which has to vote on all laws, confirm appointments. So it's one of these things that I always find with listening to the right in the UK. They seem to make stuff up, and I don't know where the information comes from.
Yeah.
So that's my point. What do you think about the UK coming back then?
I don't think that would be an easy step. As far as I know, the UK joined again the Horizon program, which is like the biggest scientific program of the European Union. But I'm not really positive of the UK coming back. It will be quite a good move for the security of the European Union. But I'm not really sure if that will happen anytime soon, or if it will happen at all.
But isn't the economy really bad here and everything's terrible and falling apart?
No, absolutely not. This is probably what Nigel is trying to convince people of, but that's absolutely false. It's not true.
What about Britain coming back? Do you have any thoughts?
Maybe.
Yeah, I think in the international situation, it will be very good for Europe to be more united, and we need you English people to.
But maybe on our conditions.
What do you think about the UK coming back to the European Union?
Well, on my point of view, I think it will be normal.
Do you think it would be good or bad? Or?
I think it would be good, yes.
What about the UK coming back into the European Union?
I think it'd be welcome. I think the Europeans would welcome it to have the,
My hope remains unchanged. I truly hope the European Union continues to exist, considering its economy still remains relatively strong. This is especially pertinent for Belgium, as my hope is she remains a part of the Union and avoids any potential economic downturn.
It is so much easier with the European Union. You have everything, which is the economy, which is very good too. Moving from one country to another is also much easier.
As you can tell, it was pretty positive all the way through. So what was their final message going to be to the British?
Come back to Europe.
Yeah, come back, think it over, come back, and you'll see that you will be much better once you are again within the EU.
Yeah, we love you. We go to Scotland this summer.
Yeah, but Scotland, not you, England. They vote differently over there.
Message to the UK.
Is it about coming back?
Come back, yeah. We miss you. We want to visit London.
Let's be bigger.
Yeah,
Together.
it's a nice message. I love it.
Maybe like we welcome you back open arms.
No, usually people who come from England are really kind. We have already a lot of tourists. I'm working right now in a hotel, and usually people who's coming from the UK are really kind to us. So I mean, come to us again, of course. Japan welcome you.
I would say come back. Mandela said that if we stand apart like this, like the wind can blow us over. But Mandela said, I lived in South Africa for a while. He said when we come together as a fist, we're much stronger.
Hope to see you again in the European Union soon.
Overall, it was pretty positive. What are your thoughts on some of the questions and answers brought up in the video? Leave your thoughts in the comments. Otherwise, once again, thank you to all of my Patreon and YouTube subscribers who keep this channel going and growing. If you'd like to help out with the channel, hit the link in the description. And on a final note, the front cover is now finished, but please stop trying to buy the book. It needs to go through an editor, and some people have found it hidden away on the internet.